Welcome to Unchained Crochet. We will be making a shawl today. It's a very simple shawl with a 2-row repeat. It's very addictive. I hope you get hooked. So let's start off with our supplies that you may want to have on hand. You can have a stitch marker if you think you'll need it. To me, not really needed, just kind of gets in the way. You'll want to have a skein of yarn. I'm choosing to do mine in mandala. This is the Griffin colorway. And you'll want a hook that is appropriate for your yarn. Mandala recommends a size H hook. One skein of mandala or comparable cake yarn in sport weight with an I hook will make the shawl that I have shown you. But you can choose any yarn you want, the weight you want, and an appropriate hook. So I'm using an I hook. It calls for an H hook. But this is a lacy, useful article, so we are going to go up a size in the needle and the hook. So let's get started here. We're going to be starting right here on this edge. I just want to show you real quick so you can see the construction of it. We're going to start with this little pie section right here. There's 3 little pieces of a pie. That's where we're going to start with a chain 6 and make our pie. And then we're going to get into making a leaf, a border leaf. This is what I call like a leaf. It's kind of a ginkgo leaf shape. All right, we're going to start with the slip stitch. Sorry. Leave yourself enough tail to weave in. And you don't want that too tight because we're going to be working through that first starting chain. So not counting the one on your hook, we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we are going to double crochet into the starting chain right here. Your chain 6 counts as a treble crochet and a chain 2 because we want our edges to have a treble crochet so that it lays nice and straight at the neck edge. So we're going to double crochet into the starting chain. That counts as your first V-stitch. The edge V-stitches have a treble crochet or a chain, a longer chain, to give that straight edge and that you don't get a crescent shape. We're making a bias stitched shawl. So now we're going to V-stitch again, but this counts as the first leg of our V-stitch, this first double crochet we did. We're going to chain 2. We're going to put another double crochet into the starting chain, same chain. Now we're going to chain 2 again. We want a treble crochet right there. Not a double crochet. I have my directions written out. I wrote them out for myself and I'm not following them. All right, so now we're going to turn and we are immediately going to single crochet into this first space. Now chain 2. The single crochet and the chain 2 count as your first double crochet. We are making the border leaf right now. So this is the bottom edge or the side edge of our shawl. We're going to 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. So counting our starting single crochet and chain 2, we now have what counts as 4 double crochet. This is the middle of the leaf. So we're now going to place a picot. We're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like fat picots. They kind of make a little drop of a shape. And you're going to insert your hook around the post of that last double crochet you just did. And you're going to slip stitch. Now we're ready to do 3 more double crochet to complete the other half. That 4th double crochet counted as the middle of the leaf. And the picot is the tip. So we're going to 3 double crochet into the same space. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now since we started with a V-stitch row, okay, we are going to do our shells now. And a shell is just 5 double crochet into the V-stitch below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to do, this is what you're always going to do on a border row. The rows that start with the border leaf, when you get to the end of that row, this is our neck edge where we had the treble chain 2, or the chain 6, whatever it was. We're going to now place 4 double crochet and then 1 treble stitch. 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to treble. Because we want this neckline nice and straight. If you don't treble, you're not going to get the height that you need, and it's not going to be straight. It's going to be all wonky. So now that we have completed our first row, we're going to make an increased row of V-stitches, and we're always increasing on this neck edge, not the border edge, the neck edge. So if you want, you can place a stitch marker. I'm just going to go ahead and do it for effect. Because this is the beauty of this pattern here, is since we have our leaf, we know that that is not our increase edge. We know that that's our outer edges. So what we want is to increase on the other edge. So the increasing is done on the V-stitch rows. So we are going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The chain 6 counts as your treble crochet and chain 2. So chain 6 and turn. And then we're going to double crochet and do that same stitch right there. Right here. Right at the base of your chain. Double crochet, chain 2, and then we're going to put another double crochet in that same space, same stitch. Oops, sorry, my yarn is splitting. I am hitting a major snag. Let me redo that. Get a fresh start on that double crochet. Okay, so we've got our increase right there. That's how you're going to do your increase every time you get to the V-stitch row. Now we're going to, just consider this your first V-stitch, even though it's an increased V-stitch. Now we're going to chain 1 between our V-stitches, and between each shell, you're going to place a V-stitch. Your V-stitch is a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in the same place, right between your shells. Chain one. Don't forget your chain ones, because if you don't, your row is going to draw in, and we want to have plenty of space there. We're not going to really use that space between the V's on the next row, but we want it not to draw that shell up. You want to give it some space. So we're going to do another V-stitch here. We've got our double crochet between the shells, chain two, and double crochet again into the same place. Okay, now you're going to do that row of increase V-stitches with the chain ones between until you come to the space between the shell and your leaf, your border leaf. All right, you don't want to get up into here, and it'll be obvious to you that you've reached the end of this row because you see your leaf and it's going to flap in the wind right there. We're going to turn, we're going to single crochet into that space. We're going to chain two. Now we're going to do our 3 double crochet. Remember, your starting chain there counts as your first double crochet. So what we're looking for is to see what looks like 4 double crochet. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to chain 4 for our picot. 1, 2. I got the dropsies today. 3 and 4. And now you're going to slip stitch around that post of your last double crochet made. Now we need 3 more double crochet to complete the other half of our leaf. 1, 2, 3. Now we have no chain spaces between your leaf and your shells here, so you want to go immediately and do a shell. That's 5 double crochet into your first V-stitch that you come to after the leaf. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you're going to go immediately into the next chain 2 space available right here. This was our increase row right here, our increase edge. We're going to go into there with a shell, and we're going to go into there with a shell, but our last shell is a little bit different. So let's do this shell. 5 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For our final shell on the increase edge, we're going to do 4 double crochet and 1 treble crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 double crochet. Now we want to treble crochet, so we keep a nice straight edge. When you block this, you won't have to fight with getting that edge and getting your shawl to be triangular. It's just going to be triangular. Alright? Because we've done treble crochets and an extra chain on your increase rows. So now we're ready for another increase row. This is row 1 of our repeat. We're going to chain 6 and turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what are we going to do? We're going to do our increase V-stitch into that stitch you're right above. So you're going to double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. So we've got 2 V-stitches. This one with the treble edge, treble leg, and that's all in our first stitch. So now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to V-stitch again in between the shells. Double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, chain 1, V-stitch again between the next 2 shells. 1, 2, and double crochet, chain 1, and our last V-stitch will be made between this last shell and the leaf, the border leaf. So we're going to V-stitch right there, and turn. You're not chaining before you turn on the border. We are going to single crochet into that space, chain 2, do 3 more double crochet, 1, 2, 3, chain 4, make your picot, slip stitch around that post, 3 more double, now we're going to shell into the next V-stitch. Continue making your shells in every V-stitch you come to. Now we've reached our edge again. We're going to shell, but we're going to do 4 double and a treble for the last. So keep repeating your repeat. Increase row of V-stitches, a border leaf in your shells, increase row of V-stitches, a border leaf in your shells. Alright, and then we will get on with the border. Okay, the border is very similar to how we've been constructing our leaf border. The final border, you're going to turn after your V-stitch row. You're going to single crochet into, just do the same as you've done with the border leaf. We're going to single crochet into that. We're going to chain 2 up. We're going to do 3 double crochet. So it looks like we've got 4. just a reminder here. We're going to chain 4. Now we're going to slip stitch around that post. 3 more double. Same thing, when you come to the next stitch, or the next V-stitch, sorry, you're going to single crochet, just do your leaves all the way across. 1, 2, 3, picot, I bet you didn't think it was going to be this easy. How easy is this shawl? This is a good beginner to intermediate crochet project. It really is. If you watch the video all the way through, you know, slow down. If things are moving a little too fast for you and you're newer to crochet, rewatch the video. You should be able to, at least I can on my phone when I'm watching videos, take it to full screen by going to the square at the bottom of the little screen. Take it to full screen, and when you need to rewind just a bit, don't drag the red bar over. Don't do that because it goes too far sometimes. Stop when you miss something and you want to see it again. Double tap for 10 seconds to go back 10 seconds. And then when you want to fast forward to something, double tap the right side of the video screen and it'll go forward 10 seconds at a time. So just keep double tapping till you get to where you need to be. Okay? That's a little trick I picked up yesterday, and I feel like it'll really help a lot of people that are stitching and get frustrated trying to rewind back to where they need to see something. I don't know how I figured that out. I think I was in my settings on YouTube and looking at different settings, and it said something about double tap to zoom, and I didn't see anything zoom when I double tapped. That's what happened, was it started to rewind on me 10 seconds at a time. I was like, that's pretty awesome there. Awesome blossom. So continue across to the end of your row. And when you get to the end, you're going to place another border leaf right there and finish it off with the treble crochet like we've been doing down here on these shells. And I will see you at the end of that row. I'll just show you how to do that real quick. Okay, now I've reached the end here. I'm on the last loop. I'm going to do the border leaf as usual, except the last, instead of a double crochet, will be a treble crochet. Oops. Okay, so we did 2 after the picot, did 2 double crochet. Now we're going to do a treble. And that is the end. That's all she wrote. So you can pull up a loop, cut your yarn, and your end needs to be woven in. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please do share my links for the shawl crawl There's this video, and then the one I did, the preview video that I posted yesterday. I'd like to get that going. I have a friend that I'll be sending my next one to, and I would like you to like, subscribe, and share if you like my channel. I really appreciate it. Please see my links below. I will also be having a new tutorial in October. It will be on how to easily bead your crochet without having to use pony beads. If you're using like a DK or a lace weight, double held double, or fingering weight, held double. You know, those number 2 weights that we all love, like It's a Wrap Rainbow. It's a Wrap by Red Heart, and they have several colorways. That's what I'll be working on, a tutorial for that next with this shawl pattern. And I'll be placing some beads right here, but we're going to do it the easy way. I promise it's not going to hurt. So stay tuned. I have some new exciting news coming up on my channel, and I want to share it with everybody. So please follow me. And if you leave comments, I always try to comment back or give you a heart. I thank you for tuning in. You have a great day or night wherever you are.